Hello Year 5. This is our fifth and final lesson on our forces topic, and the learning objective for today is to understand the effects of water resistance. This lesson includes an investigation and where we are going to find out what happens when we drop different shapes of the same mass into water. For the investigation, you will need a clear container that holds water, or another vessel that holds water where you can easily see the shapes drop to the bottom. You'll need a piece of either plasticine, blue tack, Play-Doh or anything similar. The same piece will be used each time, but moulded into different shapes. You'll need a timer for the drop, and we're going to time that in seconds. Make sure you have some paper or a notebook handy, or someone with you to share your ideas with. Let's take a look at the key vocabulary we've actually covered before in the previous forces lessons. Can you remember what these mean? At this point, you may want to pause the video so that you can give a brief definition for each one. The definitions will be outlined in the next slide. You may want to jot your ideas down, or you may want to chat to someone about your ideas instead. So let's see how you did. Force. It's a push or a pull. It makes something move, stay in place, or change shape. Motion. Something or someone being pushed or pulled. Drag is the opposite to motion. This increases and decreases with speed. Resistance is a force which pushes in the opposite direction to something or someone moving towards it. Opposes provides resistance. Streamline is something or someone that moves easily through air and water. Mass is how much stuff or matter something or someone is made of. How did you do? We're going to watch the first part of a video clip, and when you're watching, I want you to think about how the shape of the diver changes before he enters the water and why the shape is so important. Let's take a look. Okay, now back to the slide. You may want to pause the video in a moment while you have a chat about or make notes on why the diver changed his shape before he entered the water and why that was important. Okay, if you had said that the shape of the diver changed into a streamline position, and it was important so that he created less water resistance, then you're absolutely right. Here are the shapes we're going to mould and drop into the water. Now, I'm going to ask you to make a prediction about which shape you think will sink the fastest, but before you do, let's recap on some previous learning. Streamlining. It's a major factor in the design of many natural and unnatural things. A smaller surface or body area travelling directly through air or water causes them to create less resistance or drag. A larger surface or body area creates more resistance or drag and requires more force to move. Now, your prediction. Which of your shapes do you think will sink the fastest? Use key forces vocabulary to explain your answer. You may want to pause the video now while you'll jot your ideas down or chat about your ideas. Now, the investigation. What do we need to consider first when conducting any investigation? Have you got it? Yes. We need to ensure we make it a fair test. Can you remember how to do that? We only change one thing and all the other variables must stay the same. What one thing will change each time? Let's have a think about that. If you had said the shape, then you'd be absolutely right. What variables will stay the same? If you had said the mass of the shape, the height of the drop, the depth of the water, the container, that's everything else included in the investigation, you'd be absolutely right. Now, during your investigation, record your results in a table like this. Remember, you are timing how long it takes for each shape to drop to the bottom of the container, and you are timing that in seconds. When you have your results, you're going to create a bar chart to show them, and it should look something like this. You can explain your results in a conclusion, remembering to use the key forces vocabulary. You can only do that after the investigation, so we won't write anything down or chat about that right now without our results. So your task is to carry out your investigation and record the results in the table shown previously. Then create a bar chart to show these results. That's if you want to stick to bronze. If you fancy going on to silver, complete bronze and explain your results in a conclusion using key forces vocabulary. If you fancy going on to gold, then complete bronze and silver and explain what uses this information can have in everyday life. And for a challenge, how do you think the time taken to fall would differ if the shapes were dropped in air? Justify your answer. Remember to use the key vocabulary. When you have completed your investigation, take time to reflect. What new knowledge have I gained today? Well, I hope you enjoyed the investigation and today's lesson.